right, we're here at Bryant Park, New York City with the legendary John Romita Jr., who is currently working on Superman, and he was kind enough to give us a few minutes of his time so we could do this interview. Thank you very much, Mr. Romita.
My pleasure. Thank you very much for having me.
Okay. Lead off question. Recently, there was an interview you did in USA Today, and that really set the homepage abuzz. Let me just get this. Half of fans will like it, half of them won't, the artist said. If they drop the book because you changed something, then they're not good enough to please them anyway. Now, this is the internet, and we understand how things can just catch fire and everything of that nature. But quite honestly, there are a lot of fans at the Superman homepage. Not everybody necessarily is going to go with everything whole hog, but there are a lot of fans who do want to be invested into it. So for those fans over there, just maybe so they don't go off on the wrong tangent, maybe we get a little clarification on that one?
What I meant was there are half of the fans that dislike my stuff and half of the fans like it. And if they drop the book because they don't like me, that would be a shame, because then they wouldn't be able to experience what the book is. That's what I was saying, and what I probably misspoke when I said
right.
when I was quoted.
For a longtime fan like myself, this is a very divergent run on Superman. This is coming in with truth and with the reboot that just happened. So a lot of this is, very different, all new. Some things familiar, some things not. What is it that you're trying to evoke? One of the things I noticed in the interview that you gave earlier, in terms of setting, laying out the whole story, what is it that you're trying to evoke? Because you have a lot of freedom right here with Superman. So when readers are coming in, long-time readers, new readers, what are you trying to evoke? What feeling are you trying to get them to come away with from your stories?
That Superman is a little bit more human than you might think he is when he's actually just an alien. The problem that I saw with Superman, and not necessarily a problem, but maybe a weakness in the character, is that he was too perfect. And that's been addressed by a million different people that have worked on it. And we have just tried to take it a little bit further. And with the advent of his new power, which actually drains his strength and turns him human for 24 hours, we actually went a little further and turned him into a human. And from that, because of this power, we've really come up with a couple of storylines. One storyline in particular, but a longer storyline that deals with this, how it affects him personally. And I wanted to explain that when a story that comes out of this power, and we go subsequently into great storylines, story arcs, and it's a shame if people will put a book down because of their dislike for the artwork that I've done in the past. And the reason I mention that is because I've gotten a lot of negative mail on reaction to me working on Superman. So my reaction was, it's a shame they're not giving it a chance, since half of the people dislike my work to begin with. That's what I was trying to point out. And this is a perfect example. It's a great storyline. Started with Geoff Johns and me, and now it's with Gene Yang and me, and the other Superman titles. It's going off into a tangent that makes perfect sense and should have been done this way, and I'm really proud of it.
Now, before we started, I did mention that I'm a longtime follower of your work. I'm still very enamored of your Spider-Man run. And for me, one of the seminal storylines that you had was Spider-Man versus the Juggernaut, which I thought really encompassed the core of that character. That Spider-Man he's a bit of an underdog, but he's going to leave it all on the field. He's going to do everything to make certain that he protects you, to save the people. I really enjoyed that storyline. Is that something we can expect to see in future storylines with Superman? More of that core of the character. We do want to see him in human moments, but that quintessential part of him, that core of him, can we expect to see some more of that in future storylines?
I don't know specifically if that will happen, but the attempt to make Superman more down to earth, so to speak, for lack of a better term, would apply to that. I don't know if that's the case, but underdog, I don't know. I think you can't ever get Superman as the underdog unless you bring him to a new character or an instance where he is completely overwhelmed, which can happen. But we want to approach it from less from a point of view where there's something that much larger than him, than just bringing him down to earth a little more, which is what this power does.
So, where do you see your run going with Superman at this point? To be honest, since the New 52, I believe you're the most consistent artist on Superman. You're coming on a year, I believe?
A little over a year, yeah. I've done my 12th issue.
Yeah,
completed my 12th issue.
I believe you're probably the most consistent without interruption, the most consistent artist on Superman. Whatever people may say about you, you definitely are consistent. We haven't had to have any fill-ins.
I've been told I'm very divisive because of that. I do have half and half.
All right, so how long do you see yourself on the run, and what else do you see yourself doing with the character?
Honestly, I'm on Superman, and as far as what plans DC might have for me, I don't know. But I don't know how long I'll be on the character, honestly. I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it now more than before because I'm getting more familiar with the character. But I don't know what the future holds. I honestly don't. Sorry.
That being said, again, long-time follower of your work, and you have such an established legacy with a lot of Marvel characters: Spider-Man, Daredevil. You work on the Avengers, X-Men, and with DC, you have their top, one of their top characters in Superman. Give a year, 5 years, or something of that nature. What kind of legacy would you like to leave with, the preeminent character of the DC universe?
Oh, that's a great question. I don't know if I have a good answer for that. I don't know if I can leave a legacy for only a brief time I've been on it, because it's been done so many times before, better than me, and it will be done better than me after I'm done. I honestly couldn't give you a straight answer that without sounding conceited. I just want to have my little say in the character that's been the original character, the first superhero. Having a brief time on it or having any extended time on it, I'm proud to say I worked on the character. I guess that's it.
John Romita Jr., thank you very
Thanks.
much for your time, sir.
My pleasure.